Alright, so many of you have asked for the ice filter with the Aeropress. So today we are going to show you how we're going to do it. So first thing first, you definitely need your Aeropress. This is, I think, one of the latest version that you can get from Aeropress itself. So let's get started. So the first trick that I want to show you, all you can do to get a very good Aeropress brew is to use 3 filter paper, like I mentioned in my last video over here. Okay. So why do I want to use 3 filter paper? The reason is very simple. For Aeropress filter, you realize besides the holes here, there's also holes on the side. So what I want to do is I want to use 3 filter paper to create a wider diameter to block off the hole. So these can help to prevent all the fines and some of the coffee grounds to escape into your brew, which might cause over extraction or your brew might end up being not so clean. So let's get started. So I'll place it together like a diagram. This is how I will do it. And I'll first wet the filter paper first, so that the filter paper sticks together before I pressed it down. Okay, but there's something that you need to note when you use this method. Do make sure that this part of the filter paper does not go way too high or tall. Let me show you. Okay, so what you want to note is you want to make sure that this part, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, doesn't go too close to the lid. Okay, what happens is you won't be able to close the lid and end up the whole Aeropress might burst. So please be careful. So the kind of coffee that you should use is definitely something that has very rich and heavy body. I'm using a coffee from Ecuador today. 22 grams of coffee with a 1:6 ratio. Okay, I'll be using a fine grind size at approximately about 18 clicks on the Comandante. Okay, the Comandante that I'm using is without the red clicks. So unlike the Hario switch, which is made of glass, and now that they have the ceramic version, today what we're going to use with Aeropress is plastic. So because plastic is a great insulator of heat, it's not going to take in any heat when we do the brewing. So I recommend us to use a range between 86 to 90. So for this particular coffee, I'm going to use 88. Even it out. So how you should place your Aeropress, just make sure that the gasket, the black part, actually hit just nice right above or next to the line of the number 4 here. Okay, there's a few tricks when it comes to brewing with the Aeropress. We will try to do a slow-mo version, or I'll try to go slower. So when I introduce the hot water, I will always turn the Aeropress at the same time. And I will do a north, south, east, wester. So I'll take something that's really solid. Please don't use a glass server. Give it a good swirl. When you turn it around, swirl it. So this is to prevent any coffee grounds from getting stuck at the top. So this whole process probably take about like 20 plus seconds to 40 seconds depending on how fast you can go. And I'll let it to continue to steep for up to 2 minutes, and I'll press for 30 seconds. So for Aeropress, the trick is the slower you press, it actually gives it more body to the coffee. So you can adjust as accordingly based on your preference and what you like. If you feel that the coffee is a bit too light in terms of body, you can actually try to go finer, or you can shorten your brew ratio as well. Or you can consider to up dose. The maximum dose that I recommend for Aeropress will be 25. Sometimes I do go for 26, but do take note that there's only a limited capacity that you can hold in an Aeropress. So yes, always pick the right equipment or tool for you to press your Aeropress down. A couple of our friends and our members at Homeground actually brought a few servers. So yes. So another good thing about using 3 filter paper is it actually slows down the flow of the coffee dripping through the filter, especially when you invert it over. If you just use one, the water will start to go through the filter and the contact time wouldn't be as consistent. Alright, and usually I don't go all the way through. So now we are done. For the liquid that comes out at the last, usually you get a bit of fines or like you get a bit of the not so clean kind of finish. Okay, so now let's measure the output. So it's approximately at 86 grams. So with this recipe, usually it varies from like 82 to 89. So if we have 86, I'm gonna add in about approximately 100 grams of ice cube. So the total output that we want to aim for is at approximately 200 grams. Okay. Give it a good swirl. I have about 180 grams of output right here. I'm going to add another 20 grams to make it up to 200 grams. For the last output of 20 grams, I'll be using room temperature water. As I've mentioned before, when something is too cold or too hot, it's hard for our palate to pick it up. So by introducing a little bit of room temperature water, it will reach an ideal serving temperature. So there you go, your ice filter is ready.